I had read the same 2 paragraphs several times and hadn't retained a single word. There was no point in trying to read when all I could think about was the beautiful French girl who had captured my 18-year-old heart. I rested my head against the seat and closed my eyes. I could hardly remember my life before she came waltzing into it. Her ebony black hair was pulled back into the tight bun required by Air Force regulations, highlighting her mesmerizing, almond-shaped gray-blue eyes. She looked terrified, and rightly so. Our squadron commander had briefed us on her arrival a week ago. Manon Mandreau had attended the École Spéciale Militaire de Saint-Cyr in northwest France for a year, but was transferring to the Air Force Academy as a C3C, or third-class cadet, like my best friend Tom Miller and I were. "Hi, I'm Gearing Cassman," I said, once her official introduction to the squadron was over. I'd slowly made my way closer to her so I could be the first to meet her personally. Tom, of course, was right on my heels. "Manon Mondreau," she said, shaking the hand I'd extended. "This is Tom," I said, wishing I could just ignore him, but knowing that would be rude. "Cadet Miller, a word," said the commander. I said a silent prayer of thanks that Tom had been called away and I could talk to Manon alone. "If you have any questions, want a tour, pretty much anything, just let me know." When she whispered, "Merci," and then smiled, my heart practically stopped.
"Well, hello," I heard Dutch say, and spun around to see the 2 men who had been my friends, my lovers, my everything for so many years. On their own, they took my breath away. Seeing them side by side, I nearly fainted. They were close to the same height, over 6 feet, but Mantis was more muscular. His thick forearms looked tanned, contrasted against his starched, white shirt sleeves that were rolled up to just below his elbows. I thought I saw the hint of a tattoo I wasn't aware he had, just beneath the folds. His deep blue eyes penetrated mine so intensely I had to look away. Instead, I looked over at Dutch, who smirked more than smiled. "Get over here, girl," he said in a teasing voice. I walked into his arms and was relieved when all he did was hug and release me. "Hi," I said to Mantis and tentatively stepped closer to him. We hugged as awkwardly as I'd anticipated and then stepped back from him. "You know, Darrow," I heard Shiv say, and was surprised when both Dutch and Mantis took turns hugging her in a far warmer way than I'd experienced. "I've just invited Alegria to dinner," his sister told us. "Can you join us?" I hadn't exactly accepted Darrow's invitation, but when I saw Mantis nod and Dutch look at me hopefully, I murmured my agreement. The only person who looked as uncomfortable as I felt was Shiva, and he looked more anxious than annoyed like I was.